Today, for the 8th time, the hearing that would advance the sale of Glenwood Regional Medical Center has been postponed, and no new date has been set. Good evening to you. I'm LaShonda McEwen. As part of the bankruptcy of Steward Healthcare, the federal bankruptcy courts must approve the deal with Healthcare Systems of America. U.S. senators on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pension Committee heard testimonies on the impact Steward's mismanagement had on local communities. West Monroe Mayor Stacey Mitchell and State Representative Michael Echols urged the committee to make sure no other hospitals can take advantage of patients' trust.
During Steward's management, access to emergency care became greatly diminished and at times unavailable. This created a strain on the other healthcare facilities in our region.
Funneling billions of dollars through private equity into these healthcare delivery systems are creating criminal enterprises. I'm hopeful that this committee, after this subpoena of the CEO who no-showed, can hold him accountable, put him in jail, because that's where he deserves to be for stealing this money from all of our communities.
Steward's CEO, Dr. Ralph Torre, was under subpoena to testify today, but did not show up. Senator Bernie Sanders and Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy are asking the Senate to hold him in contempt of Congress.